Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different of a video. We're going to be doing a bookshelf tour. So I'm going to show off some of my cool things and how I've organized my bookshelf. So yeah, I guess I'll just start from this end. So over here we have, this is actually a container that used to hold candy in it. I gave it to Nick a couple years ago for a present. We have a Pokeball. I actually made this Pokeball by hand using corking to make it. Then we have the amiibo, the Yoshi amiibo that is woolly. We have a Pikachu from Build-A-Bear wearing his little sweater. And then we have my Coke bottle from when they were doing the Share Coke with Someone campaign. This was from the second run of names. My name was not in the first run of names, not that I'm bitter about it. Kind of wish it was a Diet Coke, but whatever. It's clearly been sitting here for a long time, as you can see by the shape of it, since it has completely run out of fizzies. Then we have another thing that I made by hand. Actually, this creeper I made for a present for Nick. Several years ago, I sewed him up all by myself, and he is holding a ticket to Hogwarts. Lucky him, he gets to go to Hogwarts. That's actually, it used to be a keychain, but the keychain hook broke off of it, so I had to switch to it to be part of something else, and so I decided to put it there. Next over we have some Birdie Bots Every Flavor beans, a tiny little Lego Pikachu that I put together myself. Then we have a Dalek, which is actually a Doctor Who Yahtzee game. If you look inside of his butt. But yeah, I don't usually play Yahtzee, so he is just part of my set. Next is it's actually a box that a bunch of necklaces came in. I got as a present from one of my friends. They were Sailor Moon themed necklaces, and now I just use the box as a display. All of those items are sitting on top of my Ollivanders box that I got from Wizarding World of Harry Potter. A lot of the stuff on here that's Harry Potter themed is from Wizarding World of Harry Potter, just to get that out of the way. And the one in front of it is actually Hermione's wand. That one I actually didn't technically get from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I was given it as a gift, and it is from the Wizarding World in London. So yeah, and then in front of it there's just, this is literally just a tiny bottle. This is just a tiny potion bottle with sequins in it, just to make it kind of look kind of cool. And these shapes on the ground are just little, they were meant to be gems, and they're from a board game, one of these escape room board games that you kind of rip up and can't play ever again. So I decided to put them on my set next to my treasure chest. This I got from the Harry Potter Festival that they hold in Southern Ontario. Well, held, I think they canceled it now. And so yeah, it's just a cute little scene with some dragon eggs, and there's a key hanging there, and ink and paper and stuff like that. Next we have, well, two little ducks. Those are a pretty simple story. We won them at an arcade. Underneath them is actually a Zelda puzzle. It's a really difficult collector's puzzle that is basically a map of Hyrule. It's really difficult because, as you can see, it's all brown and all brown background, all brown, dark brown pattern on it. So yeah, that's a pretty difficult puzzle. And then underneath it we have what is technically a Christmas ornament that I got last year for Christmas, but I think it's beautiful enough to just have it on a shelf, and here's what it does.
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity. Tell me, what would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood? You don't know? Well, let's try again. Where, Mr. Potter, would you look if I asked you to find me a bezel?
I don't know, sir.
And what is the difference between Monkshood and Wolfbane?
I don't know, sir.
Pity. Clearly, fame isn't everything, is it, Mr. Potter?
So that's fun. Next we have, whoop, gotta zoom out. Next we have a little bit of Mario goodness. This star does not want to stand up. He really fights it whenever I put him anywhere. So he can live there. But yeah, so we have a big old stuffed Yoshi, and those are more candy containers that I used years ago to give Nick as a present, and now we just keep them to have them on display because we're nerds and have to collect everything. Next thing we have is from Wizarding World of Harry Potter again. We have a butterbeer cup and a butterbeer hand protector or whatever you would call it that you put around the hot version of the butterbeer. That is in front of the official Pokemon book, Deluxe Collector's Edition, that we found in Nick's old stuff last time we were home, that I thought would be cool to put up there. It's kind of shiny, and sitting on it, it's sitting on a wand that I got from a medieval fair a couple years ago. Next, again, we have to zoom out for this guy. We have some Pokemon. We have our Snorlax, a small Snorlax, giant Squirtle, which is a bit opposite as you might think it would be. Then we have the classic, my favorite Vault Boy, and another little Dalek that I just got recently. So yeah, that is the top shelf of my shooting / YouTube set area. Let's get down to the bookshelves. The first cubicle is taken up exclusively by Harry Potter. We have Harry himself and Voldemort himself standing guard in front. We have a cute little stuffed owl that actually came with that wand that I got from the medieval fair. And it came with that little hat, and he's just so cute with his big button eyes. Then I have my Harry Potter books, including the 2 books that came out for charity, the Quidditch Through the Ages, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And I also have the unofficial Harry Potter cookbook, which I keep in there because, as fun as it sounds, it's really basically just a classic British food cookbook that you could probably get anywhere. And then sneakily hidden above is a, oh my god, what are they called? A Puffle? Arnold I remember his name. Jenny's is named Arnold. Arnold the something or other. Pygmy Puff. Pygmy Puff. We got a sneaky little Pygmy Puff that I got from the Harry Potter world, and it does this. Which is oh, it's not done. Which is adorable. It's slightly creepy and it goes on for too long apparently. The 2 first columns in the bookshelf are fantasy themed, so here are a couple more of my fantasy books. We have some Chronicles of Narnia. This is actually the entire series of books in one book. And then we also have the Lord of the Rings here. We have Dumbledore and Gandalf standing side by side as wizards in arms. And yeah, so that's what I have in there. Here we have the beginning of my Nancy Drew collection. There is some classic ones in there. The ones on to the right are mostly ones that are from original prints or earlier prints, and the ones on the left are reprints in shiny plastic. And for this shelf I decided to put down good old Nick Valentine, since he is also a detective. And then I also threw in Isabel because she is just kind of cool and reminds me of Nancy in general, just being a helpful, cheerful, sunshiny type person. This cubicle is a bit of a catch-all, as you can maybe kind of tell. We have in the front row, we have Zwei from Ruby, which is a Rooster Teeth show that I love and totally recommend. This is a string art that I actually made myself. In the background we have the end of my Nancy Drew collection and a couple travel books because I didn't really know what else to do with them and haven't got a chance to read them yet. They are for Nick and I's honeymoon, which is going to be a road trip across Canada. So those are going to just hang out in there until I need to look at them. Here we have the first shelf of the sci-fi section. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the sci-fi section. I don't have too many sci-fi books physically. I've been reading a lot of them at the library, but I don't own a lot of them. But here's a sci-fi. So we have a couple of sci-fi guys. We have Han Solo, who is actually a bobblehead. We have, oh my god, what's his name? They just call him the Professor, right? From Back to the Future. I don't remember his name. I didn't really watch those movies. And we have a C-3PO Pez dispenser because I'm an adult. And then also in there, sneaky peeky, we have a StarCraft 2 hat that Nick got many years ago when StarCraft 2 first came out. Here we have even more fantasy and therefore even more magical items. These books are kind of books that don't really belong to a series, but they are like fantastical in nature. And so yeah, that's where they belong. To the right you can see a potion making kit that I got from the medieval fair, as well as that wand and that owl. And right in front is my replica of a golden snitch that I got for Christmas one year. Here we have not really any sort of theme. They're just kind of older books, a lot of classics in there. As you can see, the Anne of Green Gables right there, and the Sword in the Stone, and also The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, so all the classic kind of books that I have are in there. And to go along with that, we have a classic Game Boy Color sitting up in front, and a classic winking Pikachu cutie, because I have a million Pikachu, and there's only so many relevant places I can put him. And also a Christmas ornament that I apparently missed when I was putting away my Christmas ornaments last year, so there's that. Here is the beginning of the kids books, which I have a surprising amount of. We have in front, in the back we have the beginning of my collection of Series Unfortunate Events. I own all of those books. They couldn't quite all fit in one cubicle, so they have to leak into the next one. But at the top we also have a couple Pokemon books. And then in the front we have the cupcake from Five Nights at Freddy's, because, I don't know, I guess I considered that a kid's game when I was organizing my shelf. Also, it's kind of just like a cutesy cupcake. And we also have, Digby? I think his name is Digby, the Happy Home kind of guide owner person, which is from Animal Crossing, which is kind of a kid's game, and at least has a cute cartoonish look like a kid's game would. So yeah. Here we have the continuation of the children's books. Lots of Winnie the Pooh, some Disney, and the rest of the Series Unfortunate Events, as well as a couple other ones. And yeah, again, I just put some Animal Crossing in here just because it's cute and it's colorful and it's bright, just like kids' books are. We also have a sneaky minion up there that I bought for Nick one time as a joke because he loves the Despicable Me movies. And then because I didn't really have another place for it, we also have, if you look real close, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. That probably doesn't need to belong in that cubicle, but alas, that's where it lives for now. This is the kind of spy book corner. We have the Tom Clancy's, we have the James Bond books in here. Those are Nick's books. I put a dog in there because I don't know why. I guess I just associate German Shepherds with being police dogs, which is kind of like being a spy, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. Diablo, because that's kind of more of Nick's thing, and I didn't really have anywhere else to put him. And also a bobblehead Fallout, because why not? I don't really have much actual spy book related items, so we had to improvise. Here we have the last of the first column, aka the last of the fantasy books. And this is the, I'm not sure what the actual series is called. The subtitles are Continuing the Drama of Those Left Behind, so I guess it's the Those Left Behind series. And to cap off the fantasy theme, we have a chocolate frog container that I got from Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and good old Crookshanks the cat hanging out down here with that stuff. This section of books is what I like to call the real life books. There's a bit of a combination of young adult novels, mystery novels, all sorts of different stuff. Ones that are basically set in quote unquote the real world. They're not fantasy, they're not sci-fi. And yeah, that's how few of them I have. So yeah, that's where those belong. And I decided to put a off-brand Mad Catz controller in there because it's kind of the those that don't belong section of books, so it's those that don't belong category of controller. I'm just kidding, I wasn't a gamer as a kid, I have no right to have any sort of elitism with that, but anyways, I digress. Here we have the non-fiction section of the library. Behind this giant adipose, there's several different memoirs, and there's a textbook or two in there, I believe, and books by YouTubers and such stuff. It's all just kind of true life kind of content. I put a good old adipose down there because why not? Don't really know where else to put him. And a Fallout guy because I have about 1 million of those and don't plan on stopping collecting anytime soon, so don't know where else to put them. Okay, we are really getting into the miscellaneous sections here. We got a couple comic books in there. We got a couple kids books, a giant Nancy Drew collectible book, a bunch of coloring books, and a retro, I think the retro Coca-Cola goes with the Stuart McLean Stories from the Vinyl Cafe, and the Luigi just is on the bottom shelf as an irony to the fact that even though he seems to have won some sort of a medal, he's still on the bottom row. Womp womp womp. And here is the Dungeons and Dragons shelf, and it also includes my collection of Wonder Woman comics, since I don't really have its own, it doesn't really have its own shelf. But yeah, that is all that we have there. Okay, I'm also going to show you what I have up on the wall here because there's a couple small details that I don't think you'd be able to see when you're just watching my videos. Excuse my hands if they're a bit wiggly. I have unsteady hands. So first, this is actually just a greeting card that I got as a present, but it is Runner's map theme, so I decided to hang it up. Then the Pokemon cards start. So we have Jigglypuff, Eevee, Togepi, Fat Pikachu, Squirtle, Charmander, Vulpix because they're cute, Dark Flareon because I'm low-key obsessed with Eevees, a Raichu, and another slightly less, I believe, fat Pikachu, but nonetheless a bit chubby. We also have these Zelda pictures, and the cool thing about these is that they actually are 3D in nature. So you can see Epona running there. And on this one, you have Sheik on one side and Princess Zelda on the other side. I mean, I don't know what that means or anything. It's weird that they put those two characters of all characters. Anyways. Then we have a metal sign poster of Wonder Woman, who I'm desperately trying not to cover the face of with Pokemon cards, despite the fact that I love Pokemon. Then we have my probably prized possession. It's a signed Tom Felton picture of him when he was a wee lad in the Harry Potter films that he signed only a couple years ago and laughed out loud at me bringing that to get him to sign. And then we have the map from Wizarding World of Harry Potter, actually. This is just the map that they give you so you can go around and know where to do the magic spells. I thought it looked, you know, magical enough and Harry Potter enough that it could go on my set. So yeah, that's everything, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys want to see my board game collection or any other kind of shelf tour. I'd be glad to show you the things that I have been collecting. Spending time and effort collecting. But yeah, other than that, later days.